Hello, everyone. Welcome. Lean in India today is very excited to partner with Sipping Thoughts to bring our Women's Day special session on Queen of the Skies, a fireside chat with the first two combat officers of the Indian Navy and their mentor, with Lieutenant Commander Seema Sharma, retired, and Commander Ambica Hooda, who's also retired, and their mentor, Commander S. Satish, who's also retired. These brave women have chosen to challenge, and that's the theme, and make a mark for themselves in a world largely dominated by men. Our fireside chat with them will highlight some interesting snippets from their journey. I'm Urvi Juneja, VP at Genpact and chapter leader at Lean in India. So just briefly about our partners before we start the session. Let me start with Sipping Thoughts. It's a platform, it's a multi-platform media company co-founded by Sukirti Gupta and Meeta Gudgutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts, a known judgment platform where they want to create a network of women for women. And Lean in India? Lean in India is the official national chapter for Lean in India. It's a community founded by Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg that empowers women towards their ambitions. Lean in India aims to contribute towards encouraging more women in leadership positions through peer circles, campaigns, collaborations, events. Our aim is to increase representation of women in leadership positions by enabling more women in the workforce. And now about our panelists for today. The Indian Navy inducted women officers in 1992 for important support functions such as law, logistics, air traffic control, and education. After more than 15 years, the Navy inducted women into operational roles, and that would take them to the forefront of combat. Lieutenant Commanders Ambica Hooda and Seema Sharma were the pioneers who took up operational roles in naval aviation. They went on to become trendsetters and broke the glass ceiling on many counts. First women air crew, first women to lead operational missions, first to become instructors, etc., etc. During Aero India 2019, they and other women aviation professionals were given the moniker Queen of the Skies. Their 12-year journey in uniform has many learnings and stories that they will share with us today in the session. Seema is currently the Executive Program Manager at Blue Conch Technologies, a part of UST. Seema oversees and manages strategic programs for them. Ambica, on the other hand, is now the Vice President Reconciliation Operations at the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation and drives global support services. So both with a fantastic corporate career now. Commander S. Satish was among the key people who played a major role in training and mentoring Seema and Ambica. Satish is a Navy veteran. After his Navy career, he also chose to work with RICO, leading IT projects and supply chain operations for them. He is currently mentoring two startups based in Bangalore. With this, I will hand over to Sukirti to kickstart. Over to you.
Well, thank you, Urvi. What an exciting session we have today. Welcome, Ambika. Welcome, Seema. Welcome, Satish. We're excited to have you here.
Thank
And I
you.
know one of the big questions that everyone has, and now I know I'm going to take you a lot of years back. But what inspired you at that point in time? Because, of course, you are trendsetters to join the Navy. And did you know that you were going to be the first two women in combat?
Good evening to everyone, first of all, and thank you, Urvi, for such a nice introduction. Coming to the question, I come from a family where serving in army is a matter of great pride. My great grandfather, my father, they both were in army, and my father served for 34 years. On the other side, if I see my maternal family background, that is also from army. So I was growing seeing them in uniform. So it was a matter of great pride for myself as well. I always wanted an action-oriented role. And when I was growing, I saw that, especially in northern part of the country, rural areas, the respect which is being given to the person who are in armed forces, it is just beyond explanation. And the charm of uniform, it was totally a giveaway to come over here after deciding that I want to be part of only these two places where I can go. As a kid, this charm suddenly started growing more and more. And I had a desire also to see how the aviation is all about. I wanted to feel that how it will be to be there in air, not only on ground. So I didn't feel any difficulty from my family side when I was coming onto this decision. I was very sure of my aspiration. Firstly, I have to be in defense, and second one, I wanted to fly. And when you are aware of your passions, when you aware that yes, this is what you want to do, you want to grow in, you work onto that. Rather, I will say it comes naturally. You just find ways and means and you start working onto that. And probably same thing happened with me. I started working on the very same lines. I had all the idea, like, yeah, what I require to do. I wanted to be physically as well as mentally strong, keeping myself prepared towards the same lines. When I was in college, I remembered I decided that yes, I have to take NCC so that I'm also keeping myself on the same line. I was slightly more disciplined. So I was already thinking where I have to go and where these things are taking me. Rather, before that, when I was in school, I remember I chose subjects which were totally inclined towards the choice, my choice, where I wanted to go. So it was inclined toward that. I chose subject physics and maths because I wanted to fly. So the qualification which I need to get is again totally inspired by my inspirations, my aspirations. So it was all coming from there, and I was putting all those small dots in places so that yes, I know where I am growing, where I am moving, either whether it's a right direction or it's not. Thereafter, when I finally completed my graduation, rather, I was in final year of my graduation, I remember. First, I saw this advertisement from Indian Navy, and it says very clearly that yes, for the first time, this chance was given to Indian women, especially I'm mentioning because yes, it was short service and male were also part of it. Though for the first time that women were taken into they were considering to take in the combat roles. So yes, that was totally my, like, I just opened my eyes. Yes, this is what I wanted probably. And my both aspirations that yes, I will be part of flying. And the second most important, yes, I'm going to be in defense. I will be in armed forces. And that pride was already there, thinking myself, yes, I will be in that same place where I always wanted to be. So I, without second thought, I just applied for it. And yeah, probably I will say luck also played the part that I saw it for the first time. Otherwise, it could be the second option for Air Force. I would have considered maybe, if not this. So when I thought, yes, this is the right choice, I applied, I cleared, and thereafter, my medicals, my first SSB happened, and then my medicals, I cleared through that. I made it to merit, and there I was in bright white Indian Navy.
What a
So that was how
powerful
it
story. How about you, Seema? You also come from a Navy background? Seema, you are muted. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
hi. Yes, definitely. So, with me is also something similar journey, but you know what? Since beginning, I mean, since childhood, I had seen this white uniform at my home. My father was in the Indian Navy, and he's also retired from the aviation arm. And so were my brother, the elder brother, and the second brother who's still serving. So I had seen this uniform in my since my childhood, and it was fascinating me since then. So now you know where the orientation comes from the beginning itself. So you know what, when this opportunity came up, even before that, when I was very young in the school, I remember in the this was in Naval Public School, Cochin, wherein the officer in charge of a Sea Cadet Corps had come to motivate all the school students. And that was, I think, the turning point for my thinking that yes, I think this is what I would love to go for. And that is when I joined the Sea Cadet Corps and continued it for the next 3 years or so. And that is where I learned the basic terminologies, the discipline, the activities that happen in the Indian Navy. And soon after that, my father retired and I went to the civil world. But then I knew where I had to go. So just to keep the connect on, during my college days, I had joined the Naval NCC unit, which was there in Mumbai University College. So I continued my connect with the Indian Navy through NCC. I reached till C certificate in the Navy, in the Naval NCC, gaining the A grade in that. And then once the college completed, I got the first opportunity to fill in the application. So when I filled in the application, I actually knew where I am going. So my base was already set up. I knew what the job is going to be. Yes, I'm going to be part of the first batch of the observers of the Indian Navy in the Short Service Commission, and it's going to be a challenging job. So my mind was all set, and I think that was the day when I had decided and I had chose to challenge since that day. And yes, that is when I went to Naval Academy, did the basic training from there, got some really good knowledge and strengths that I could build on. And I'm here today where I am just because of that.
Fantastic. Such inspirational stories. Over to you, Urvi.
Great to hear that, Seema and Ambika. Fantastic stories. I know both of you had great family support, and you've seen this running in your family from the very beginning, and both of you seem to have a passion for it. So it was kind of growing on you for a number of years. But I also understand back in the day, the issue of inducting women into the combatant army in the military generated considerable heat at the time. There were many reasons given to why women could not be fire pilots. Some even went on to say that women can be taken as fire pilots if they come into not having children, not having a family, or if the training women pilots does not make financial sense. Against such circumstances, you both made it happen. You both were selected. So how did you feel about this whole thing? We want to hear your perspective, your story there. So let's start with you, Ambika.
Urvashi, I will say, let's see, the public opinion and the perception, it is slightly different from the actual scenarios. However, practical things might be totally different on ground. We might not be aware if we see the picture from the other side. And probably same might be the case here. I will not be able to comment here. Things were going on. I was aware of that. But when Navy decided in 2008 to offer women officers role in totally different domain, so they gave this opportunity. They provided that option with to all of us to look for that whether it is doable or not. And I feel privileged to get this chance myself as well. Probably it was one of the best thing I could have asked then. And finally, when training started, the one of the major concern was that I should not be falling short of expectations, because it was the discussions were on, and it will continue for the other domains subsequently in future as well, which happened thereafter, and probably there will be many more which will be coming. So yes, we have to meet all the expectations. We have to set some certain standards. So that pressure also was there, but with the training and the way we have been mentored, the grooming, how it happened all together. It was a collective effort. Yes, we put our dedicated hard work and efforts, whatever we could have done. On the other side, Navy has equally provided the same support. They have also proven that yes, the decision which was taken by them, it was not going on the wrong direction. So that's what how it ended. Like the challenging roles are undoubtedly initially, if anything is coming, be in whatever field it is, the iota of doubt remains before it starts. So the options were given to us rather, and yes, it was a success story I can call now.
Excellent. Seema, we would like to hear what was your journey there.
Yeah, so yes. So personally, if you ask me, I remained untouched by these thoughts. These were definitely apprehensions that were there with the population that was outside. But within the naval gambit, this was just not heard of. So our focus was only to learn and then prove ourselves. Definitely the learning curve was steep, but then we were determined to prove ourselves. And sharing my personal story, because I have myself went through that phase successfully. Whilst I was family way, I managed all the operations that were happening on the ground, coordinating and planning those strategical missions. And so I think I have proved this notion to be wrong, not by a story, but by going through it successfully myself.
So you both have truly shattered the glass ceilings there, Very glad to hear that, you know. Over to you, Security.
Now, this question specifically, Ambika, for you, because you were judged as the best trainee in flying after the course, but you admitted that the path to induction was not easy, that the training was a great challenge, both mentally and physically. But tell us more about this. Like, this was a grueling phase. I mean, a lot of us see the glamour, but we don't see the hard work.
So, Kirti, I will say, rather, I will put it in this way that life on ground is obviously different from whatever we see it in air. That I can say right now because I had seen for 12 years. And the shifting from life on ground to the speed of the aircraft, which is 350 kilometer per hour, it was really at a very, very fast pace, especially for me because I had totally non-technical background. I was an arts graduate, which was very much into reading the novels and the stories and poetry. So that was a major challenging thing for me. And to match up with that, initially, as compared to my counterparts, my course mates, I will say it was a little drawback because I had to learn each and every basics of the system first, and then I had to take it on from thereafter. So as it, I say, like aviation is very much related to the technical aspects, and there are a lot of things which need to be learned, be it from the engineering perspective or otherwise. So there was no separate timelines which was set for me. It was all same. The tenure of the course is same. So I had to finish each and everything what everybody was supposed to do. And in addition to that, before coming to that level, I had to prepare myself. Yes, I know the basics at least from where I can start thereafter. So I had to put some extra, I will not say some extra, probably a lot of extra efforts toward learning those things. But subsequently, I realized with best of the instructors, be it at whatever stage during my training, flying training, even after that as well, uh, all these mentors were there throughout, and the main endeavor was to provide the best of the support, whichever they could have done. Rather suggesting, okay, how to start, from where to start, and how you can improve on many of the things. So yes, whatever they decided, and rather thereafter set a certain course for me. Okay, probably you should learn this first, and this is how you should go along with this line. This is the right track for you before starting on to the other things. So yes, definitely I worked onto all those things, and this challenge was probably thereafter no more a challenge. I was adapted to it very nicely, probably, and later on I can say I succeeded to quite an extent. I will add on to it to prepare myself, thinking ahead of the aircraft, and thereafter I started learning how to assess the situation. There are a lot of equipments, different systems which are fitted on board aircraft. So yes, simultaneously after working onto that, I started realizing, getting inputs, okay, how to add on to those inputs, and thereafter assessing to coming to one particular situation, and thereafter providing the same situations to other ship or aircraft and operation centers accordingly. And all these things, when it is happening, you are realizing now, I was comfortable that time, it was 350 kilometer per hour. And later on, subsequently in our career, when we moved from other aircraft, the Boeing P-8I, which is the speed itself is phenomenal. It's zero point 0.8 Mach, which is huge. So now there are so many more additional system onto it. But with the training, how we grow from the ground zero to this level, probably it was all set then, how to take all these things, how to work onto different system equipment, and how to prepare the mind yourself. That after keep revisiting all those things, and then you realize, yes, now you're comfortable. So finally, the girl which started totally a non-technical background, zero background, without any knowledge, I ended up being the instructor on the one of the most potent aircraft, that's a P-8I. So it was challenging initially, but after adaptation, the way we have been groomed in the Navy, uh, I can say it was a success story for me, because yes, knowing nothing and then you are instructing the future generation to come on the same very aircraft. This
Yeah,
is
no,
how
it's very, very, very inspirational because a lot of times when we all face challenges, the first thing is, okay, you know what, we want to give up. And it's great to hear your story of saying, okay, you know what, how can you kind of push ahead, even in a domain, possibly where you have no prior knowledge? I mean, very, very inspiring. Urvi, over to you.
Sure. Seema, this one is for you. I know you hail from a family of Navy in which both your brother and your father had served, and then you went on to become part of this esteemed organization, paving the way for many more after you, so that you were not the last one, as they say. Would like to hear more about your struggles and how did you handle them?
Yes, indeed, it was a dream come true for me and for the entire family, and it was a moment of proud for everyone who was there, who knew me or who were attached to me, and everybody felt that yes, some part of them has successfully done something and reached somewhere. So it was a win-win situation for everybody whom I knew or I was attached to. But more than that, the responsibility had increased. So since we were the first ones to join, we definitely did not have like the corporates have the HRs, the counselors. There are no such people present there, but definitely there's a mentoring system which is present, and the chain of command, and with the increase in the seniority of the person, you get that better and better solutions for the problems that you pose to them. So that has worked really well for us since we were the first ones. We did have those apprehensions that whom will we reach out to. I mean, since everybody has like the girls would reach out to their elder sisters, the brothers reach out to their elder brothers. We didn't have that kind of a support system, but our seniors, our commanding officers, our peers, everybody played their role so beautifully that we never felt that void was anywhere there. But now the responsibility for us was to be a role model for everybody else who was to follow. Since this was kind of a pilot project, you can say that the Navy had started with us, and because we made it successful, now you can see that women are given permanent commission. They're coming into the pilot role. They're going on board ships too these days. So I think it all has to start somewhere, and if that starting ends on a good note, that is when the things do follow in. So subsequently, we became their mentors who all came in, not even only for the women joinees, but also for the men who were joining in the subsequent batches. We supported them to whatever level it was required to, be it professional knowledge or be it a personal touch in their requirements. So we were always there for them. I do remember wherever anybody, especially women officers, would join. If we were posted at Goa, if somebody joined at Port Blair, then also we would get a call within 10 days of a joining for them to get a heads up from us, how's it going to be. And it did not end there. It continued. We would follow up with them, they would follow up with us, and that chain remained. And I still know a lot of them who keep calling up, and they keep taking guidance, and they've always been helpful to me too whenever I have reached out to them. So I know this mentoring system which is there in the Navy. I'm sure this is what has helped, and we've also kind of given to the systems that way.
Fantastic, Seema. Like Kamala Harris says, you may be the first woman to do something, but make sure you're not the last one. So you truly took the responsibility to be the trendsetter and role model for many other women. So great story there. Sukirti.
So there's this word I keep hearing both of you saying, mentoring, mentoring. And this has become kind of like the buzzword. But now we're talking, what, 20 years ago? I mean, this was not commonplace, nor were we talking about like every organization needs a mentor. So I know Satish was your mentor for both of you in that crucial period of time. So Satish, tell us about this and this mentoring process, because this is kind of vanguard, and not because about today, but when we're talking about it in the time frame when actually you started mentoring these two women.
Hi, good evening, good to see so many people joining our conversation today, and very happy to see a lot of our former squadron mates in the audience. That's very encouraging. The mentoring process in the Navy actually isn't really called by that name, but there's always been a very supportive system in place from uh, very early days. Typically, when a trainee joins, there is a training officer who has end-to-end responsibility of the professional and personal aspects of that particular trainee or for a batch of trainees. So when Seema and Ambika were to join us, the first heads up that we got was from Naval Headquarters, where we were told that the squadron was handpicked to take on this onerous job of training the first two women officers. Uh, Partly because we had a reputation of being a tough place to work, and Naval Headquarters decided that it is best to put them into the deep end, and then they wanted a very supportive team. And so my commanding officer and I were spoken with by Naval Headquarters and the training school, and we were told that these two are coming to us. And as Ambika said, the first surprise that we got was we had an arts graduate joining us, and we had to train both of them in everything from aeronautical engineering, aircraft handling aspects, radars, and everything that was completely out of her domain. So what we did is, as it happens in the Navy, we had a structured training process. There is a syllabus and a process that everybody follows. So we had a mid-level officer monitoring all that. Beyond that was the commanding officer and me. I had a very supportive commanding officer and also a very supportive base commander who was the head of the air station. So we got our heads together and we decided that the traditional support structure must continue, and we mustn't make too much of a leeway or a difference in their case. But we must also ensure that this entire project goes through successfully, because we had been handpicked to lead this entire initiative. So when they came in, we would have very, very open and transparent sessions on the expectation setting the standards, the timelines for completing various milestones in the training. And I would then, as the next higher level, keep monitoring, and I would have one-to-one chats with both of them on both the professional aspects, how things are progressing versus the kind of pressure that they were facing. And there were many occasions where they were under a lot of pressure, and these chats really helped in setting the expectations right on both sides. Sometimes we would have to pitch in and temper the speed on the trainer's side, and sometimes we would have to use some tough affection on Seema and Nabika to ensure that they speeded up and met expectations. So I think that kind of a hand-holding process really ensured that this went off very well.
So,
Uh,
Satish, I like this word that you've said, tough affection. Can you give us two, three tips for normal people, like what works in mentoring and what doesn't?
I think the most important part in mentoring is to ensure that you help and handhold in setting the goals and expectations, the timelines to achieve them, but then you step back and not micromanage. I think for a mentor, the biggest temptation is to continue to be engaged and start interfering in how it is executed. So I think a mentor must continue to be engaged till the plan is kind of set, the expectations are set, targets are set, and then kind of step back and resist the temptation to engage, and then make sure that you're there if they need guidance, but you don't interfere in how the plan is executed. That's very
Well
important.
said and so true. I know I'm a micromanager, so I absolutely reflect on those words. Back to you, Urvi.
So, Seema and Ambika, this one is for both of you. We would like to hear more about the challenging situations you had to handle independently, and what are some of your life learnings from those situations? I'll let you choose who goes first. So,
Yeah, so I'll take that first. So I'm really excited to share few some one or two examples or from down my memory lane. So I got this first chance to land on a foreign land. So we used to have those foreign lands depending on your eligibility, capabilities, and how have you been performing. So this was my first opportunity when I went to this foreign land. And this was also supposedly my first secret and the strategic mission that I was on, and I was really excited towards it. I mean, I had already been overwhelmed with the all the excitement that was pumped in inside me, and I had a very critical role of being the ears of the aircraft. So this aircraft, I mean, we are supposed to hear if there's anybody coming close to us. So we had these fighter aircraft that were expected to be around us, and I was supposed to pick up their radars and raise the alarm for the crew to act accordingly. So what had happened was I did pick up such a kind of an radar around us, and I raised the alarm. And I think I caused a lot of adrenal rush that day inside everybody, the entire crew who was present. And it ultimately turned out to be a friendly naval fighter aircraft which was operating around. And I think I had my biggest lesson that day that the situational awareness is really important. I mean, yes, it was good to be having raising that alarm that day, but maybe if I had a better situational awareness, the excitements could have been on a safer note. Another personal example would be I remember once we were celebrating my son's second birthday, and the very next day we had not even opened the gifts that he had received. And I go to this cordon, and I'm told that okay, just go pack up your bags, and you have to take off in next 2 hours. And then I was like, oh my god! But then I had an option so that I could have told them that no, if somebody else can take care this time, I have my family, everybody back home. My son is small, but I think I took that decision because I had that really good support which was there. And this mission was to rescue Commander Abhilash Tommy. If everybody knows, he was participating in the Golden Globe race, and his boat had met with an accident due to some cyclone, and we had to fly some 2000 miles away from our land, and then again from there about similar distances to locate him. Then we directed another ship which was close by to go and rescue him, and that was such a satisfying mission. So I think I'm really proud for myself that that day I chose my profession over to my personal requirements, and that has been the most satisfying mission that I have had.
Fantastic, Seema. Indeed, some proud moments there, Ambika, over to you.
Thank you, Urvi. First of all, it was 12 years, which is a huge journey. And I have flown 3,500 hours in two aircraft, Dornier and PATI. So there are so many lot of learnings, which probably it is not possible right now. But yes, I remember one incident. I recollect one of my mission. I was in PATI aircraft that day, and there was a series of exercise which were planned. There was practice firing, which was supposed to be there by ships and submarine that day. And I was a mission commander. We were told, we were given mission, okay, you have to go and clear the range. That means you have to clear all the merchant vessel or any fishing activities happening there. You have to tell them to go out, and thereafter you have to record all the data, like whether it's a successful and how you have to capture finally. So yes, I did the first part nicely. The range was cleared, and I passed the report. Yes, all clear. But I will say, as Murphy's Law, that day seems to be working overtime. And when we were there on the final hold, just short of the final activity which was supposed to happen, one of our system packed up. We were supposed to be recording something thereafter, second part of my mission, and it was all packed up. Now there was no option with us, though we keep standby aircraft ready, standby systems ready. But that day, yeah, within a couple of minutes, you could not have done. It is miles of nautical miles inside the sea that day. So yes, thanks to all the preparation that day, I realized how important it is. On ground, we are whenever we go, used to go for very important or otherwise any mission. The preparation should be like at any point of time something is going to happen, you are already able to consider that part, and your second step, your other plan is already ready to cater for that those situations uncalled for. So this time same thing happened on ground. I had probably prepared very well that day, okay, what will be the speed of the ship and how where the position should be that time. And I maneuvered the aircraft basis on the calculations, okay, where the position of that particular boat supposed to be firing, the submarine supposed to be firing that day. And yes, on those calculations, I have placed the aircraft in such a way that, okay, if any camera is given, we do use to keep a operational camera in addition to whatever we are there on aircraft. So yeah, that day it was there, and we were hoping probably all the calculations and the work is falling in place. So aircraft was aligned in that way, that without anything, we were just looking at that dot time. For example, it's 5 o'clock, and yeah, hoping on that direction there should be something happening at this moment of time. And to my I will not say it was surprise, but yes, it happened for the first time. Like, I'm doing everything manually and hoping like anything, okay, it should be falling in place. And we could see something coming out, like a burst coming out, and we were able to capture that particular recording was there. So why I'm recalling this thing is because it is totally unexpected. Yeah, probably I could have said yes, system was not there, and I have tried, like I could not have done more than that, but I thought, okay, let's try it manual way, whether it is possible or not. So yes, the preparation which was done on ground, the habit which was taught to all of us, that helped very much on that particular day. And to add on to this, there is another incident, I will not say incident, another mission which I recollect, which is very much similar. One of the other important thing which we learned, that is adaptability. You should be able to be very flexible. Like if situation changes, you should be able to mold with all those things. Again, one important mission when I was flying that day, and we just crossed the coast. It was on the, say, western side, and all of a sudden we got a call from our base, and it is like, you please come back, your mission is changed. It was very unfortunate incident that day. One of AN-32 like that, they went down, and it was like, you have to reach over there, and the mission is now search and rescue. So it's like so fast, everything is changing. You have just 35 to 40 minutes to come from one place to other and switch out your roles, and you have to be like looking for totally different mission. So you have that much of time to prepare how it goes, what you are supposed to do, and how like you have to be very fast. Your aircraft is flying so fast, and your mind should be more than that. And the calculation, everything which you are putting in all together to get the best and the success in that mission is very important. So this is another thing which I learned a lot, like how to adapt and switch over, like to be flexible and be prepared for that.
Commendable, commendable. Over to you, Sukirti, for the next.
Well, I have a question, and now you've talked a lot about some of the challenges. But let's talk about pressure. A lot of us feel pressure and we can't handle normal corporate jobs. And you're talking about the pressure of the entire, first of all, Navy watching you, the entire country watching you. And then on top of it, the missions that you are on are mission critical. You know, how do you manage such pressure? And I will ask this to Ambika. Ambika, please let us know. And Seema, I would love to hear your comments on this too.
Uh, sure, Sukirti. Pressure, first of all, I'll say after joining Indian Navy, the best thing which I felt is there is no discrimination as such. So the training standards and everything were totally same without being biased. And the later on, when we grew, subsequently realized that even missions were totally based on the qualifications. So there is no shortcut or no different track which we were supposed to follow. However, the pressure was being the pioneers. This was a major thing, like after even completing the training successfully. My aim was totally just to cater for that particular thing, that yes, now I'm the pioneer, one of the pioneers. So there should not be any, I should not be falling short of any expectations. Because depending on the outcome which we will be going to deliver subsequently, this will remain forever. We will be either closing the door for rest of the generations to come, or otherwise people will be in Navy or otherwise as well, will be happy to open their arms, like to let them in and let them prove themselves for all those things which we always, like as a normal human being and we women specifically, we do aspire a lot of things. So yes, this pressure was there throughout. I will say most prominently in the initial part of the career, the journey of my career in Indian Navy, because at every single stage, I will say there was a lot of eyes onto us. How these people are performing, whether they are going on the in the right direction, or is there anything else which they were supposed to do and are not doing. So there were a lot many things. The pressure was just because of these things which were unnecessary. I will not say unnecessary. Later on, I realized that yes, with the grooming and everything, the way training had been imparted to us, these things were no more a pressure. It was just falling in track, on track rather, and probably it was quite smooth because thereafter it became a part of life. That was the way life had already become. So after a couple of years, when we were in squadron, as I mentioned, my first squadron. So after learning each and everything and rather preparing, and then the execution used to be fine, and we were given the qualification, and then we thought, yes, it's a simple thing. It's irrespective of whatever it is coming. If you are taking all things in the positive spirit, you are trying to learn onto them, and thereafter building up on the same lines, there should not be any additional pressure apart from one you yourself are considering for yourself. Okay, this is what I expect, so I should be at least barely minimum fulfilling this particular limit. I should like try to achieve slightly more. So that was the only thing which I felt.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is that positive spirit and the preparation that makes you feel very confident in what you're doing. Over to you, Urvi.
Sure, Sakirti. Uh, uh, you know, this one is for you, Satish. I'm sorry. So we understand that the squadron's leadership team was preparing for the induction of the first batch of women officers. Want to understand your point of view, or what was the thinking going on? How did this all evolve? How did it get there? Would love to hear your thoughts there.
This was a very interesting and a very satisfying experience for all of us in hindsight. But at the time when this started, we had just about a month's notice when this decision was announced, and we were told that we need to prepare. And a month's notice, very very male-dominated kind of traditionally all-male squadron to welcome two women is actually very short. So after our leadership level discussions, we decided to take this on three fronts. One is to build the right kind of mindset among everybody, the officer level and the below officer level. And this we did by through multiple conversations, through weekly briefings. This would be a regular kind of a topic without highlighting it too much that there are two women who are joining. And we sent out the message, and we kept re-emphasizing in a very very understated way that they're coming and they're going to join. We have been handpicked by Naval Headquarters for this pilot, so it's a prestigious thing, and they're going to do everything that exactly the way everybody else does. So this thought process kept getting reinforced without making it too prominent or without emphasizing too much on it. Second was to set up the infrastructure. So we knew that some basic infrastructure like different changing rooms, different washrooms, and some more infrastructure like that had to be put in place. So we got the basics built in. We got some funds approved, but we made sure that nothing was given on a platter, because we didn't want that kind of thinking in the public mindset that women have come in and everything has been given to them on a platter. So we let them come in and do a little bit of running around to make sure that they got their comforts with some due hard work. So that was the second level of mind conditioning that we did in the public space, to make sure that everybody saw that nothing is happening in a preferential way. And the third part that we addressed was integrating them into the system. And this we addressed by ensuring that we attached them with different departments. They got to spend time on the actual aircraft maintenance floors. They were a part of every little activity on the of the squadron, and the sailors got to see them as normal working people. And the biggest message that we managed to drive through was, these women officers are officers who happen to be women and not women who happen to be officers. And that, I think, was our biggest win. We kept re-emphasizing this. And because we put them through the grind and everybody saw that they were going through the grind and they had to pass every test and every qualification exam just like everybody else. Within a few days, it was kind of commonplace for them to be in the squadron, and I don't think anybody felt otherwise. And that was I would say, that was our secret sauce to getting this pilot off the ground successfully.
Just making it look like it's part of the process, just making it as normal as it could be.
Yes,
So
I think that's very important, because the more you emphasize on the differentiation, the more difficult it will be to overcome mindsets.
yeah, the more it sort of tinkers with people's mind as to what's going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Spot on. Agree with you there. So Kirti.
Ambika, this is for you. You know, a lot of times, especially we've heard that the biggest thing that is holding women back is the work at home and the pressures of actually homework. And when I say homework, I mean housework, chores, all of the thing that is burdened on women. And so, how did you successfully manage this work-life balance that we continuously hear about? And especially in something like the Navy.
So, Kirti, there are a lot of learnings from Navy, and we are using probably in such a nice way that the transition from uniform to the service street was not that difficult. Because apart from the adaptation, which we have learned from Navy very nicely and could utilize here, there are certain takeaways from Navy. Like there are so many, but yes, to mention a few. I will say I have learned like what to do, when to do, and how to do. First of all, I have to understand, like just in Navy here as well, I try to understanding, okay, what is the requirement of my organization here? And thereafter, what I'm supposed to do. There are so many things which I felt, yes, I have to work upon because the profession is totally different. Like from that totally action-oriented place, it is working from home now. So it's all everything going virtually, and luckily I'm also working from home right now. So these things like what my company actually requires from me. So I have to find out first that thing. Okay, this is what my understanding. Okay, this I am supposed to do, and I have to build up on these limitations which I'm feeling right now, and work towards strengthening those aspects where I'm lacking. And yes, this is first understanding. Okay, learn, and this way I will go further. Second thing
Thank you.
is like courage of conviction.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
tried to, yeah, I tried like to focus on professionalism. It's a change, totally a different world altogether. I initially couldn't have thought of this thing how it is in all the ways, personally as well as professionally. There are certain differences. But I had one thinking in mind that yes, good work always pays off. So recognition will keep coming separately. Just build up on the professionalism first. So this is the second thing which, yes, I obviously learned in a couple of years in a Navy. And the last but not the least, as Satish sir also brought out, that in a profession, we are just a professional. Rather than focusing more on the differentiation, focus should be more on the integration. How the things are going. Okay, this is my new team. I have to integrate. I have to learn from them, and couple of things probably they can also take away from me. So all these learnings are right now. It's very useful for me, and probably not that much challenging in adapting to the new environment. And yes, I will say it's quite comfortable seeing the two difference, but utilizing all the learnings coming and putting it in one place. So these are a couple of things probably I could have utilized right now, and subsequently will keep using all these things which I've learned from Navy.
Fantastic. I would also like to ask you this critical question of work-life balance, because I mean, it's very, very hard for us to do. How did you manage?
Yeah, hi. I think I would definitely like to give some light on that. So I'll give you thing from personal example. So here too, I'll use that. So I'm married to Alok, who's actually based at Mumbai since we've got married. So practically, we've lived this long distance relationship all throughout my naval career. Also, post completion of my maternity leave, I had actually resumed back flying within 15 days of joining back from the leave. So I think I was motivated as always to get back to those special missions, those detachments, those involvements with my peers, and this is what actually led me to get back to my place as quickly as possible. So for this to happen, I know for myself to be at peace where I'm working, I need to have a really good support systems that's sitting behind in the office. When I'm in the office, they're sitting in the home and taking care of my child. So here is what I would like to bring out, that my in-laws and my parents have played a really very vital role here. They've supported me unconditionally, and I do remember there were times when there would come up some emergency wherein my in-laws have to just fly back to their hometown. But then my parents would just take another day and they would just drop into my place. So yes, their support and my husband's support is what has kept me going. I would like to say that work-life balance is something you're doing work. If somebody is working at home, that's a work too. And if somebody is working at office, that's equally a work. So you just need to prioritize things, give due respect to whatever people are doing, because work is work. Somebody is taking care of your child at home is another big work. So I know whenever I was away, also the unit officers and their families, they would take care of my family that was left behind. And I think everything just fell beautifully aligned and it kept me going all throughout.
Well, thank you. I know we keep hearing that support system is absolutely critical. Over to you, Urvi.
So we'll do our last question and then we'll open it up to audience. So this one is very close to my heart. And I would love to know that not only both of you have been extremely successful in your Navy career, but you also have a very successful corporate career. You know, what leadership skills are helping you to make a mark in this corporate world? And how did this transition take place?
Yeah, I think I'll just quickly touch upon few points looking at the time that's left by. I think adaptability is the best thing that I have learned in the armed forces and specifically in the Navy, wherein in terms of people, work, situation, the geography, the system giving equal opportunity to all without giving any due advantage to anybody is, I think, the biggest learning that I have had. Also, the forces has made me really mentally strong and all weather ready, so that it keeps me going all throughout. Multitasking, which we've done all throughout in every day-to-day life, is what makes us much more collaborative, and that's what helps me in connecting with new colleagues that are around me now. And yes, they also help me grow in each and every bits and pieces that's involved. And another good aspect that I've learned from my career is that you should always have a plan, an alternate plan to anything. The plan, we call it the plan Bravo and the plan Charlie. So we should always have a standby plan for everything in life. That's what I would like to say, because you do not know when your actual plan would work or not. And you should not lose hope when you're failing in a plan, because you always learn something when you're failing. So you learn from that and you execute your remaining plans that are there, and you should be doing great. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, our failures become our learning experiences. Absolutely. Can't agree more. Ambika, we would just love to hear your 2 cents there.
Yeah, sure. Urvi, I will say, first of all, like courage to lead, to take initiatives. That is one important thing which I have learned, and rather I will say it's very much useful that the skills are used by each and every one, and this makes a lot of sense. Like people do hesitate to take initiative, whether you know, restrictions are there, whether inside you feel certain. There is some hesitation to come ahead and the courage to tell, okay, yeah, this is right thing, probably we should go in this direction. So this is one thing which I learned, like you should be knowing how to lead, and the courage should have been there in you all the time. Second thing I will, as Seema has brought out, like for plan B, if plan B is there, you have already worked upon to it. You should not wait for the right time. There is no time. So rather than procrastinating on one of the particular thing, okay, this will be the beginning or that will be the beginning. just work toward that particular direction which you have already decided. And the third is, as I've already brought out, like again, probably I would like to repeat because this is very, very much useful. Rather than concentrating on the differentiation, it should be always integration. So whatever place you are, whatever work you are doing or you are involved into it, just try to use this. It will make a lot of sense and life will be smooth probably.
Great, great. Love to hear your mantras there. Great. So let's open it up to audience, Sukirti.
Yes. So, Meenakshi, I would like for you to ask your question. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Success is, as we know, success is different for everyone, but it's always interesting to learn how people arrived where they are. What's the biggest factor that helped you both to be successful? And adding one more question, ma'am. Like I am feeling so silly to ask this question, but still I will ask in order to learn. What mistakes have you made along your way, like in this journey?
I'll take on the first question. So you know what, Meenakshi, I feel you should always take your decisions by introspection. You should lead by your passion and nothing else. You should always ask the question of why before how and what. If you're thinking of doing something, you should have the answers to the why part of it first, and then go for how and what you're going to execute it. I think you will never falter this way, and you'll never regret your decisions. And finally, I think the success is what will be waiting for you there.
Meenakshi, I would like you to come back with the second question. Probably, I'm extremely sorry I've missed out on that, and I would like to take from here.
It's okay, ma'am.
Your failures.
It's not failures, it's like mistakes have you made along the way.
She's asking about the mistakes that you've made along the way.
See, again, it is like, Meenakshi, I will put it in this way, as you have already brought out yourself, that success and failure is all depends how you take it, how individual take it. So I will not call it as a failure or some mistakes which I have made. If I take and I speak on the terms of my career, which probably I think you are trying to ask, there are, as Seema has already brought out, that yes, there are two plans. So same way it was for me, there are two plans. However, if I would not have succeeded in one of these, any one of these, like be in uniform or I would have my second plan ready then. It was like I had to be in flying. Maybe the other option would have been CPL. That would have been the simply thing. But if you will ask me for this career itself, I will say it. I can't recollect any mistake as such, like what was the failure in this term. I don't know if I have rightly answered your question and whatever you wanted to ask. Maybe I will request, if not satisfied, probably you can repeat if it is not going well.
So there's another question because of the gender gap. A lot of people are asking, especially in a profession where there's a big gender gap, and Anjali has asked this, especially among leadership. How did you reach your level of success?
Should I take this question?
Go ahead.
Anjali, thank you for this question. And first of all, like during the discussion as well, even Sir and Seema and self, we have brought it out this way. That there are certain things in every single organization. There are set standard rules, regulations are laid down each and everywhere. So, and when, as Sir has also rightly brought it out, that if the differentiation is not focusing, it's like you don't make it highlighted that much. So people will also take in the very same way, same spirit that will be coming to them. So if it's not like we joined and we became the leader. The leader started learning themselves. We were just the under trainee cadet someday, and thereafter we learned so many things. We had to cross each and every stage the way it is supposed to be. It's not from ground zero and all of a sudden we started or people started calling ourselves or we ourselves started calling us to be the officers. No, there is the learning sequence. We started gradually from down below. We came to one level and thereafter second level and third level. And in every single stage, you are learning so many things, and thereafter not just learning, you start executing those things. When things are being executed in the nice way, in the right way, people do look up to you, and they try to gain inspiration from you as well. After a certain point of time, after some level, you realize that you don't have to call yourself like those in those many words, okay, you are the successful leader or not. It's all from the learnings. The learnings are going in the right direction, the mentoring is in the right direction, and after some point of time you will realize, yes, definitely you are inspiring rest of the people who are there coming after you. So it's a sequence, it's a chain. It's not just one process started one day and thereafter it concluded.
So Kanya, we'll take your question next.
So, Kirti, if I may take a few
Sure, go ahead.
seconds here to add to what I think what Anjali wanted to know was how is this gender gap, especially in leadership roles, going to be addressed? And what I'd like to tell Anjali is the there is a gender gap in leadership because the induction of women was several years after the Navy was up and running, and it will take some time for women to grow into leadership roles. Having said that, the very fact that Seema and Ambika, as the pioneer, the first two, joined, they were groomed, and before they hung up the uniform, they were actually leading missions and they were mission commanders. Had they continued in service for several more years, probably they would have grown to pick up more senior ranks. We do have women in very senior roles in the medical corps, and that is a that is a part of the armed forces which started inducting women doctors very early on. So we have women doctors who are wearing the generals and admirals ranks. In fact, one of the largest hospital in the Navy was led by a woman officer until very recently. So this will take time, but it's definitely going to happen. And it all depends on two things. One, a very supportive system that allows women to grow and gives them equal opportunities. And second, equal amount of hard work and responsibility being borne by the women officers. And it takes two hands to clap, and it will definitely happen.
We'll take your question next. So Kanya, go ahead.
Yes. So, ma'am, this question is for both of you. So, somewhere along the way, you must have come across some point where you feel like this is it, like I want to give up because you can't deal with the discouragement or you can't deal with the. Sometimes we make some mistakes, so we feel like this is it. I'm going to give up. So, how do you deal with that discouragement or intrusive thoughts, and how do you come over that and continue along your path?
Thank you, Sukanya. In our life also, wherein you would feel that okay, your decision is right or not, but they are very temporary thoughts because you need to have that far-sightedness that does of yours will affect your professional career all throughout, or it's going to sustain just for a few seconds. So I think that deep thought, if you give it once to whatever situation you are in, will definitely take you out of the dilemma that you are in, and you can overcome the negativity that's pertaining around.
And to add on to Seema, I will like to say that Sukanya, if yes, everybody do faces many challenges and discouragement, as you rightly brought out. So actually, those are temporary, and you have to develop your own mechanism. Like if I'll give my personal example, so running is my stress buster. So whenever anything is there and cluttered up so many things at same point of time, so just go and run, and probably those thoughts will be out by the time you are already back. So yes, if such thing comes, you do have peer group, you do have your course mates. Like for me, one of other support, major support was Seema herself. Though there was nobody else, but yes, by discussing things when things are already ventured out, probably that helps a lot. And you realize it was just for time being, and now there is no discouragement as such. You have to work again, come back on the track.
So Arpita is also asking a question, and she's saying, if you were not a Navy officer, what would you have been today?
Yeah,
I
so if I was not a naval officer, I was so parallelly after my college when I was uh, trying to appear for interviews for the Navy and do the various tests and all. I was also preparing for my CAT, and my next aim was to do an MBA from a good reputed college after I performed well in CAT. So my preparations were also through for that. So I had actually, as I spoke to you regarding my
B and
plan
plan
A
C.
and plan B, so my plan B was already running in parallel, wherein I had given this 1 year to myself that I will give probably the interviews and appear for SSBs for this 1 year. And if I'm not able to make it, because they say that if you have it in you, then you will get selected. If not, then you try for 100 times, you will not make it through the SSB. So yes, my plans were on, and I would have been in the corporate life much before than now. That's what I would say.
How about you, Ambika?
Uh, if I would not have been in Indian Navy, probably it would have been an Indian Air Force then. So this is again the armed forces, and if not that be the case as well, like because of any reason, there are it could be anything. So my other plan was I had to go again in aviation. So I had already started preparing on those lines for CPA. So I had already cleared, like during my graduation time itself, I had already cleared all my medical examination, which were required for DGA to make your DGCA file itself. So yes, if not this, then it would have been probably Air Force, or otherwise, yes, I have given time for thinking the third option, that is again flying, related to flying, because the passion was always there. So it would have been maybe CPL.
The last question we take from Natasha. Natasha, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Seema, Ambika, as well as Satish, for being so candid in your responses. How can we encourage more young women to challenge the status quo, despite grappling with patriarchal ideas and behaviors? And how do you wish society and the community could help?
Okay, let me give the higher perspective here. I think the best way that society can help is to create a very inclusive atmosphere. Like I mentioned, from when we were preparing to induct these two women officers, the first thing that we did was to create a very acceptable or open atmosphere, which is what we must do. It is going to take time. In our case, since we were dealing with a fixed number of people, we managed to achieve it in a month. But dealing with society at large, it requires a multi-pronged approach from different stakeholders in society. And more open conversations like this, more people writing, more people raising these issues is what is going to help that. And we keep talking of challenging stereotypes, rather than challenging and making it a confrontational thing. We should work towards creating more awareness that there are such opportunities, and if the organizations and the support structures work well, there would be an inclusive culture, and there would be an open and equal opportunity kind of atmosphere for women to excel. That is what will take us forward as a society.
And I know there are lots of questions. People also want exam tips, but I'm sorry, we are out of time and we will not have time to get into that because that would take a whole nother session. But I'd like to ask your closing thoughts. One tip that you would like to leave with all of our viewers today as to what have you learned in terms of overcoming obstacles? And we can start with you, Ambika, and then go to Seema and then Satish.
Okay, here I would like to add that the first thing which comes to my mind, how to just come out of these obstacles. Don't put the pressure of what is trending onto you. This is what the pressure is. Like when anything is going on trend, people try to follow that. So just forget about this. Just remember what your passion is all about and just walk onto that, and you will realize there is no pressure at all. So there is no other obstacle which you will have to clear thereafter.
Thank you. How about you, Seema?
Yeah, I think the generation today is too much that they go with the flow. But then I think they focus, which I think will come definitely with maturity. It will not come very early in your life. But then try to be passive, listen around, and see to it that what you think would be you require want to be after maybe 5 years or so. I think that question will give you most of your answers, and that is how you can pick up where to turn next.
And Satish?
I think once somebody has figured out the why, and the next major thing would be for you to start working on it and start moving towards the goal. Like Seema and Ambika said, figure out the why and then start moving towards the goal. Don't procrastinate. And what I would like to add from my side is along the way, you would need somebody who can be a good guide, a good sounding board, and a good guiding light, a good mentor. So a mentor is a very important part of your journey, especially if you're going to try very, very offbeat paths or different careers. Along the way, there are so many choices now. So find somebody who can be a sounding board. It could be somebody in the family or friend circle or anybody you choose, and that's going to make a big difference to your journey. That's what I'd like to add.
Well, that was an amazing, inspiring. I mean, I'm so many thoughts are coming to my head, but I think I'm going to boil it down to 4 P's. If I've taken away from this conversation, first is preparation, because once you have that preparation in your mind, nothing will scare you. Second is the passion. Third is the plan A, B, C. I think we're all going to remember that. And number 4 is people, where we need mentors and others to help us and coach us along the way. I thank you all for sharing such inspirational stories with us. I know that we are seeing all the messages. Everybody's saying such excellent role models, such amazing stories. So we thank you for being with us on behalf of Lean in India and Sipping Thoughts. And with that, I wish you all a very, very good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been an amazing conversation.